One of the most intense and overlooked battles in recent Formula One memory took place at the Singapore Grand Prix, and yet almost no one saw it unfold. As Lewis Hamilton fought desperately to control his car with failing brakes, Fernando Alonso was in full attack mode, closing down a massive 32-second gap. But instead of broadcasting this unbelievable duel, the TV director decided the world needs to see Zak Brown celebrating McLaren's Constructors' Championship, a choice that left fans stunned. What should have been a gripping display of pure racing drama turned into a masterclass of how it completely ruined a live sporting event. The choice began during the closing lap of the Singapore Grand Prix when Hamilton, who had been sitting securely in seventh place, suddenly found himself in serious trouble on lap 58. The seven-time world champion still had 52-second cushion over Alonso's Aston Martin, and everything looked steady for the Mercedes driver until disaster struck. Hamilton's brakes suddenly gave way, and what followed was one of the most dramatic meltdowns Formula One has seen in years. Over the next few laps, the time gaps closed at an astonishing rate. On lap 59, Hamilton lost 3 seconds to Alonso. On lap 60, another 5. 61 was where things truly fell apart. Hamilton lost a jaw-dropping 32 seconds in just one tour of the Marina Bay. The brake failure didn't just cost him time, it raised serious safety concerns. Sparks flew from his Mercedes under braking as the system buckled under the circuit's brutal demands. Hamilton was forced to push the limits of track boundaries, running wide into corners simply because his car couldn't slow down fast enough to stay within the white lines. It became a desperate, nerve-wracking struggle to keep the car pointing straight, let alone defending his position. Meanwhile, Alonso was delivering one of his greatest performances in years. Two-time world champion sensed something was wrong with Hamilton's car and went full attack mode. Lap after lap, he closed the gap, summoning pace that seemed to defy logic. At 43 years old, Alonso was driving with the fire and determination of a man half his age, if not even quarter. A reminder to everyone why he's considered one of the sport's greatest all-timers. By the time they began the final lap, Alonso had slashed the 32-second gap down to a breathtaking 4 tenths. Two legends separated by just a full car length, one wrestling with a dying machine, the other chasing with everything he had left. It was the kind of cinematic tension Formula One was built for. But that's exactly when everything went wrong. Instead of showing the showdown we were all waiting for, the broadcast switched to the crowd shouting and garage celebrations. While Hamilton wrestled his crippling Mercedes towards the finish and Alonso bore down on him with relentless speed, viewers were forced to watch Zak Brown embracing McLaren staff and fans cheering in the stands. The reaction online was immediate and brutal. Fans flooded social media with outrage. One viewer wrote on X, TV direction, prioritizing fans and the grandstands over Hamilton with no breaks trying to stay ahead of Alonso. Zero praise since again. Another posted bluntly, F1 TV director showing Zak Brown for an hour instead of Hamilton's versing Alonso. Just do your job. The fury was unmistakable, but perhaps the most cutting response came from a fan who nailed the issue perfectly. The F1 TV director showed us the wrong thing again. Give us what we want, not Zak Brown hugging people. We want to see Alonso and Hamilton going crazy on the final lap. That one line summed up the frustrations of millions of fans, including myself, honestly speaking, forced to miss the only genuine moment of drama all race long. Singapore had already been under fire for lacking overtakes and excitement, which made the missed moment even harder to justify. One viewer pointed out, the only one real thing happened this race. Alonso finished 0.48 seconds behind Hamilton. Missing that one battle is unforgivable. And they were honestly right. Even Sky Sports lead commentator David Croft couldn't hide his annoyance live on air, saying they should have been showing Alonso Hamilton duel instead of the crowd celebrations. When even the broadcasters are openly frustrated, it says everything about how badly the coverage went off the rails. And this wasn't only the thing viewers missed. During the same race, Carlos Sainz delivered one of the drives of the season, climbing from 18th to 10th on a single set of tires. It was quite impressive, honestly speaking. It was a masterclass of tire management and racecraft that deserved attention in a Williams. But fans barely saw it. But instead, the camera stayed fixed on the paddock and the team's personnel, which, honestly speaking, was the wrong call. Several midfield battles that could have spiced up the broadcast were completely ignored. The irony is that Formula One has every tool to capture multiple stories at once, onboard cameras, helicopter views, and endless feeds. There's no technical limitation. The issue is purely poor decision making by the TV director and the entire team and both inside there. Alonso's post race radio captured the emotion of the moment perfectly. I can't fucking believe it, he shouted 4 times as he crossed the finish line. Having nearly caught Hamilton in the final corner, then came the biting follow up. Is it safe to drive with no brakes? Part disbelief, but part genuine concern for what Hamilton had to manage to survive. Later, speaking calmly to the Spanish broadcaster DAZN, Alonso explained, they told me about it 2 laps from the end, and I finished about a tenth behind him. It's frustrating, but I think it's being investigated for track limits and everything because when you don't have brakes, you can't just go off track. We all have to stay within, with or without brakes. The stewards eventually investigated Hamilton's track limit violation and handed him a 5-second penalty, which is just unfair, dropping him from 7th to 8th, while Alonso was promoted to 7th. In their ruling, they acknowledged that Hamilton admitted to leaving the track multiple times to handle the brake issues, but said that he didn't excuse the violations. Alonso got the position, but fans were still robbed of witnessing the battle as it happened. So the stewards did a good job. They correctly penalized Hamilton. But unfortunately, we didn't get to see that. We didn't get to enjoy a masterclass, a masterpiece of something that could be worth cinema one day. And the real tragedy here is fans who pay for premium F1 TV or Sky Sports subscriptions and aren't shelling out all that money to just watch endless team celebrations. Yes, McLaren won Constructors. Good for them. We are happy for them. Their dominance was exceptional, but it does not validate a missed opportunity like that. The fans are paying to see racing strategy and drama, yet once again, the one thing everyone tunes in for was missed. This it exposes a deeper issue with Formula One's global coverage. For years, viewers have complained about missed overtakes, cutaway shots of celebrities, and constant replays of pit walls while the real action happens elsewhere. Despite all the technology and feedback, nothing seems to change. And because of local broadcasters like Sky Sports are forced to use F1's world feed, even the commentators are helpless when the bad choices are made. If Formula One was to keep growing, this has to change. Missing a head to head fight like Hamilton and Alonso doesn't just frustrate loyal fans, it turns away potential new ones who never get to see what makes a sport so thrilling. In a world full of entertainment choices, Formula One cannot afford to waste any form of drama. It makes the racing special. It's why we love Formula One. But tell me what you think in the comments. Do you think they should handle things better? Do you think we need a new F1 director? Do you think other companies should be given the rights and access to broadcast with the same output? Tell me what you think in the comments down below. And if you love my content, please join my membership. You can contribute something for like a coffee for me. Do what you like. It's not by force. But I'd love a comment, I'd love a subscribe, I'd love a like, and share this video. And YouTube thinks you'd like this video over here. Thank you for watching.